Yes, hi, this is Bernard Brault with OTN Systems. Picking up from the last video where in the last video I showed how to create different tunnels, mainly rings and sub-ring, like ring number 1 here, and creating sort of a sub-ring. As you can see right there, there's a sub-ring. The view here is a bit different from what you saw before. It's a network view as opposed to a connection view. So slightly different screens. But what I want to do is on the network view is show how to attach services to this network. So one of the services I created was a voice over IP service. And if I highlight the service, it's showing me basically where you see these little pop out there, that basically all of these ports are part of a port-based LAN, and basically you would connect the telephone to interface 1 port 4 right there, a Voip telephone here, same thing there, same thing there. And as you can see, just for convenience, I've skipped a number of different sites. So you got about like some 20, 30 sites here that I picked up across the entire network, and those would all be part of the VoIP service. And the VoIP server might be right here at my control center at the site 1120 right there, and this could be the VoIP server, and it'd be sort of connected via LAN, via these rings and sub-rings. So if you have fiber cuts and all that, you'd be protected. But it may not be a good idea to put all of the voice over IP phones on the same LAN. So one thing that you may prefer to do is break it down. So for example, you may say I'm gonna basically have all of the telephones in this main ring, or whatever looks like a ring here, the 1000 series nodes here, come out of one port into the VoIP PABX, and have a separate port for, let's say, the second ring right there. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Even though I created a VoIP service, let's ignore it for now, and let's just leave it there. I could delete it and start over, but why don't we create a VoIP for the 1000 series phone lines, and they all come out of one port there, and we'll do the same thing for the other rings. Alright, so let's do this. Let's go to the connection tab. And so what we're doing now is adding a service, and as you can see, tunnels are already created, and what we're doing is attaching services to these tunnels. So we already have the tunnels in place to do what I'm talking about. So let's call it VoIP. Let's put capital P 1000, and it's Ethernet port base. Next, it's asking me for the port selection. So that's pretty easy. I'm going to zoom into the main core ring of the network, and what I'm going to do is, as you can see here, I already have some of the ports may already be picked up. So what I'm going to do is, on interface module number 2, is pick the port number 4 right there. Alright, so across the board. So that's what I'm going to do. So pick up this port and move around the ring. There you go. So as you see here, it takes quite a few clicks to do that, and a way to avoid this would be to simply write a script. But in this case, it would take me a lot longer to write a script than just to move around the ring right there and just select port number 2. Even though I got quite a few to do, I only do this only once, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so almost done. There you go, that port selected. And finally this one. So let's see now. Looks like we've gone all the way around the ring. So we've selected these port number 2, and as you can see, the selection is shown right here on the left. So these are the selected ports that we have and across the 1000 series. So we got port number 4, 10, 20, 30, 40, and you go all the way down, and you notice that there's nothing selected in the rest of the network. Alright, so that's good. Next, it's asking me, am I going to keep the VLAN tags? Let's ignore this. Let's keep all the tags, and finally all we have to do is select the main ring right here, and priority, I would make this a priority 4, Top priority is 5, what is reserved for TDM services and as well as teleprotection. So we're going to make this a port 4, and 50 megabit per second for the service is probably good enough for the VoIP. Here's a summary of what we are doing. Pseudo wire label assignments, and we're done. So what I've done here, let me close this and show you, is basically I created a service called Voip 1000, and if I highlight the Voip 1000 right here, that's what's being displayed right now, and you see that Voip 1000 basically is picking up all of the ports shown here, interface 2, port 4 that we just did, and they're all going to be basically dropping on my PABX on interface 2, port 4. And the intent now is to repeat the same thing for the other rings and basically create different, port-based LANs, and have multiple ports go to the PABX as opposed to a single port, which could do the job, except it would be a single point of failure. If you lose it, then you fail everybody. If there's garbage on the line and so on, you may affect the entire network as opposed to breaking it down. It's all about like piecemealing this network. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and when I come back, I will show you that I created these other VoIP services.